Recording in progress.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's wildfire update. Before we begin, please ensure your cameras are off and your microphone remains on mute unless you're asking a question. We'll begin with remarks from Ric McIver, Minister for Municipal Affairs, Joe Zatylny, Deputy Managing Director for the Alberta Emergency Management Agency, and Christie Tucker, Information Unit Manager for Alberta Wildfire. And then we'll take your questions. Minister, please go ahead.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. As you know, today is that day that residents of Jasper may return to their homes, which I think we can all agree is an important day. Well, that's good news for some. There's not good news for everybody. There's some that do not have a home to return to, or who may find their home is still standing, but in some way, shape, or form damaged or compromised. This, I'm sure, will be an emotional day for many people, and I want the people of Jasper to know that their provincial government supports them and has their back. For anyone needing support during these difficult times, please call 211. It's Alberta's 24/7 crisis line and can refer you to community and mental health supports near you. Our hearts go out to everybody who has suffered a loss from this wildfire. And I think that is everybody, because even if your house is standing and you've had to leave it for a couple of weeks, boy, that's a big loss too, and disruption to your life. So that's to everybody. Our thoughts are with you. The municipality of Jasper has managed to achieve and maintain the re-entry criteria. And I know it didn't come easily. Much thanks goes to the firefighters, the Parks Canada, the town of Jasper, all the first responders, so many people to thank for getting us this far. And we know this is just the beginning of what will be a long adventure. The town is forever changed, and it will take time to restore, but we are ready to begin the process of reentry. Changes to fire activity or unplanned changes to critical services could still create some problems as folks return to Jasper. So please keep in mind that the situation remains somewhat dynamic. We're happy to have residents head home to Jasper, but since things could change, please remain vigilant, follow the instructions of local authorities, and prepare to remain patient during these early days of reentry. While some services have been restored in the community due to some very hard work by a lot of people, residents should be prepared to be as self-sufficient as possible. Also, I mentioned on Monday, today's reopening is not an invitation for visitors to Jasper. Local residents need time and space to return home, review their situation, figure out what they need, and what their next step should be. Jasper will be open for business soon enough. One of the things we need from local residents is information about housing needs. As mentioned previously, the municipality of Jasper has launched a housing needs assessment survey. The survey will help inform efforts to secure suitable housing for those that need it. I encourage all Jasper residents to take the online survey by visiting alberta.ca/Jasper Housing Needs Questionnaire. We need everyone from Jasper to fill out the survey. Even if your house is in perfect condition and everything's working, we need to know if maybe you have a room or part of your house that could be someone else's temporary resident. And if you don't have that, we need to know that too, so we can make the best plans possible. So please take a few minutes to share that information. Another thing Jasper residents should know about is some financial assistance that the Red Cross announced yesterday. Starting with today's reentry, the Red Cross is distributing $500 in one-time financial assistance per household for people who are registered and whose primary residence is in Jasper. This assistance is meant to help folks with ongoing needs such as food, transportation, and cleanup supplies. These $500 payments are on top of the $750 one-time payments per household for people who were living at Jasper at the time of the evacuation. This assistance comes from the generosity of donors to the Canadian Red Cross 2024 Alberta Wildfire Appeal. So Jasper residents need to be registered with the Red Cross to access this funding. And those who have not been impacted by the Jasper wildfire might consider donating to the Red Cross. The Government of Canada and the Government of Alberta are matching every dollar donated by Canadians from July 25th to August 24th, which means every dollar that you donate becomes $3 to help people in Jasper. In closing, we will continue to be here for the people of Jasper as we move down this path to rebuilding and restoring whatever as close to normal as we can achieve. Alberta's government continues to work closely with the municipality of Jasper and Parks Canada through our joint recovery task force. We're very grateful for the support and hard work of both of them. We're working collaboratively on recovery plans to help restore Jasper as quickly as we can. The Alberta government will hold another telephone town hall on Monday at 6 p.m. for Jasper residents to ask questions and receive updates. And I encourage every household from Jasper to call in and attend, even if it's just to listen. It may be beneficial for folks to hear from their neighbors, and maybe that'll help find ways to lend a hand during this difficult time. Thank you. I will now stop talking and hand over to Joe Zatylny, our Deputy Managing Director for Alberta Emergency Management Agency. And thank you to you, Joe, and your teammates too for getting us this far. You've all done a lot of work.
Thank you so much, Minister. And good afternoon. With the Jasper residents returning home today, there's an up-to-date reentry guide available on the municipality's website. There's also a reentry support welcome center at Commemoration Park, where returnees can find additional guidance, including information about insurance and supports around mental health, cleaning supplies, but residents are asked to bring supplies to when they come back to their residence. Professionals who can help residents safely sift through their properties will also be on site at the center. And this address is at 1324 Pyramid Lake Road. Out of consideration for those returning home today and over the coming days, re-entry to Jasper is restricted to residents and business owners. Those returning will need to show their Parks Canada issued resident parking pass or self-declare. Trails, campgrounds, and day use areas remain closed. And with today's re-entry, the municipality of Jasper has de-escalated its evacuation order to an evacuation alert for the entire town site of Jasper. This means everyone returning should remain prepared to evacuate again quickly if conditions change. The incident command team believes the risk to the town site is low, but there's still an active wildfire in the Jasper National Park. Highway 16 is open to traffic between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. daily, and non-resident traffic is being routed through the park on Highway 16, bypassing Jasper without stopping. Travelers should be mindful that the road might yet be impacted by closures or delays for the foreseeable future. Those re-entering should be aware that they can access immediate supports to help cover additional costs like living expenses, hotels, through their insurance provider. And returnees are urged to contact their provider to start their claim as soon as possible to be in the best position to move forward after re-entry. You can visit the Insurance Bureau of Canada website for detailed wildfire and insurance information and resources to help navigate your claims process. Regardless of whether or not they have a habitable home to return to, displaced residents will still have a place to stay in the coming days as we move forward. No one is going to lose their accommodations if they cannot or choose not to stay in Jasper today. Reception centers in the province will continue to provide services and accommodations for evacuees until at least August 24th, as per the agreements between the municipality of Jasper and the hosting cities. Alberta's government will continue to work with the incident management team in Jasper to monitor the situation and determine the ongoing needs throughout the re-entry process. The municipality of Jasper continues to provide daily online updates about the progress being made and the work done to restore essential services and infrastructure and how that continues. As re-entry proceeds over the weekend, we look forward to the updates from local authorities in these coming days. And while today's return will be a difficult experience for many residents, Jasper's re-entry is a welcome milestone. There is good news to share elsewhere in the province as well, and with the Little Red River Cree Nation expecting to complete their community re-entry. It has taken more time to make arrangements for those with mobility and health considerations, but re-entry is now expected to be complete by Monday. And while the threat of wildfire is not over, Reentry offers hope to Albertans who have endured weeks away from their communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. There are currently 105 wildfires burning in the forest protection area of Alberta. Of those, 8 are out of control, 45 are being held, and 51 are under control. 986 wildfires that started this year have been extinguished. Rain and cooler weather have helped firefighters across the province contain many of the wildfires on the landscape, and those conditions are expected to continue across most of Alberta over the weekend. We welcome the news that Jasper residents and businesses are returning home today, and we're happy to continue supporting the incident management team in containing that wildfire. We're also making progress on wildfires in the CMO complex in the north, and thank members of the Canadian Armed Forces for their help, and they will be demobilizing today. Many Albertans have been affected this week by smoke produced by wildfires in the province and nearby. Smoke can appear to be thick and severely affect air quality, although that does not necessarily mean that a wildfire is active near you. Smoke can travel long distances and be slow to disperse under some climate conditions. You can inform yourself and find wildfire smoke information on alberta.ca and learn about the location of wildfires in Alberta on our wildfire status page. Thank you.
Thanks, Christie. We'll now take questions. Reminder, 1 question, 1 follow-up, and please state your name and media outlet before you ask your question. Jonathan, please go ahead.
Hi there, Jonathan Bradley, Western Standard. My first question is for Minister McIver. So you spoke about Jasperites returning home. What does the status of that look like at the moment? Like, how many people are expected to head home? What areas in particular in the town are people, like what neighborhoods are most of these people coming from? Things like that.
Okay, well, thanks, Jonathan. It's a great question, but there's not a short answer to it. There might be a different answer for every single household. Some households may walk into their home as they remember it with the electricity on and the gas hooked up and everything looking sort of like it was, except perhaps what was in the fridge might be spoiled, but might have to have a new refrigerator. But other people won't have any home at all. And that'll be quite different. And other people's homes may actually look kind of normal, but they may find there's some damage. They were unaware of it as a direct or knock-on effect from the fire, and they may not have services for a week or two because of some pipe or wire that was disrupted. And I think as they were warned by Alberta Emergency Management and Parks Canada on earlier media conferences, some people might need to prepare to camp in their home for a couple of weeks. Now, if they have to do that, of course, other accommodations will be made available to them, but some people just may want to stay home. So you ask a good question, but there's may well be a different answer for every single household. I would say I'm happy to be corrected on this, but I got a chance to look around there, and it seems to me that the south and west parts of Jasper were more affected than the north parts. And again, if somebody corrects me, then take their word for it, not mine. I'm going giving it to you by the best of my recollection, and a whole variety of circumstances. So this is Jonathan. This is won't be simple or won't be easy, and that's part of the reason why we want people to fill out the survey. We will try to customize the supports as best as we can, following the lead of the municipality of Jasper.
Okay, and my follow-up pertains to an earlier comment you made about wanting households to be self-sufficient, because obviously the community is still sizably damaged. What does self-sufficiency look like?
Again, that's a great question, but again, for every household, it might be a different answer. Some people might be able to eat with a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter for a week, and a lot of people won't want to do that. I understand. I think there's one grocery store open, or now, or will be soon. And anybody, the officials want to update or correct me on that. That's my understanding. I think there's the hospital open for just basic operations yesterday, as I understand it. So there's a whole variety of people working really hard to bring more services and businesses online, Jonathan. So it's an evolving situation. But let me just say if you are a Jasper resident and you show up and you are surprised and consequently not ready, ask for help. There will be people that ready to try to assist you, and again, if your home is uninhabitable, there will be a place for you to be.
Thank you.
All right, Dennis, please go ahead.
Dennis Cofton with CBC Fort McMurray. First question for Christie. You did speak a little bit about what the wildfire situation looks like in Alberta overall. Can you go in more depth about what the situation looks like in the provinces north, and what is the outlook for the remainder of August when it comes to fire activity in this region?
Thanks for the question. We certainly have been happy to see some rain across much of the province. We have received rain in the northwest part, a little bit less than we would like to see in the northeast, but still a decent amount of rain across many of the areas where we've seen a lot of our larger fires this year. So they have been making good progress on the CMO complex. That is one of the largest, obviously, that is still going and classified as out of control in the province. So nearly 107,000 hectares in size, one of the wildfires as part of that complex, but no significantly concerning behavior on that fire. We have hundreds of firefighters, heavy equipment, and resources dedicated to that complex, and they have been making very good progress. So I'm very happy that the communities affected have been able to return home, and that is thanks in no small part to the help of community members themselves, many members of the Little Red River Cree Nation assisting with firefighting on that complex as well. So happy to report the good progress being made on some of that complex in the CMO area, and we are anticipating a return to more seasonal temperatures coming up over the next few weeks. We may see a bit of a prolonged dry period in the northern part, but we are getting to be towards that time of year where wildfire activity starts to slow in many parts of the province, and certainly the precipitation that we're seeing this week is going to go a long way to assisting with that.
Thanks, Christie. My follow-up is for Minister McIver. This year and the year before that as well, some municipalities were tested by wildfires to a fairly significant extent. For example, when they had to support evacuees, setting up the reception centers and facilities for them, providing accommodations and things like that. Can you talk about what work has your ministry been doing in supporting municipalities in dealing with fires, and also perhaps if there will be any kind of policy changes or adjustments going forward in the future, where these wildfire seasons may become a bit more intense, more severe, and when municipalities will have to bear a higher load when it comes to dealing with them?
Well, you asked what my ministry was doing to fight fires, and I would say the forestry and parks were really in the lead of that, along with Alberta Emergency Management Agency. Our municipal affairs is we certainly liaised regularly with the mayor of Jasper and on what was needed, but our ministry is probably coming more to the fore now in the recovery part and the reentry part of the process. So we're trying to make plans. Again, I've appealed for anybody that hasn't filled out the survey to do that, because the more information we have, the better we will be able to connect people with services that are already there, whether it's a part of their neighbor's home that's available to rent, or whether it's and we just need to know if individual households need to get temporary accommodations, and how many people are there, and how old they are there, and how many kids are in school. So we're very much in the process of putting all of that together right now, and it's we're trying to be as fast and as vigilant as we can. I will say the municipality's done a great job. They have a reentry guide for citizens. I'm told it's very good. I mean, I've seen it. It looks good, but the residents will decide how good it is because they're the ones that will have to use it. So again, we're in touch with the Red Cross, and our government's been in touch with the Insurance Bureau of Canada to try to make sure that their adjusters and their insurance people are giving as good of service and as fast of service to the people of Jasper as possible. There's a whole myriad of things that we will be in support of the municipality. I would say that we'll be there every step of the way, but the municipality of Jasper we see as leading the recovery efforts, and our government will be there, and our joint task force with the municipality of Jasper and Parks Canada are actually looking at 3 different forms of housing, immediate housing from 0 to 90 days to get people situated, kind of midterm for that 90 days to 6 months and beyond. And then beyond that, we're looking to see what the options are for people for permanent housing as Jasper eventually returns to normal. So it's early days, but I can assure you a lot of work has been going on for several weeks now, and we're in the thick of it, and all the more reason why we need to hear from people that live in Jasper when they come back and have them express what they need, and that'll put us in the best position possible to either provide it or to try to direct them to where it can be provided.
Happy to jump in, Dennis, if just on the question about preparedness for municipalities. And of course, as Minister mentioned, this is working closely with municipalities across the province in the system we have around emergency management, and that comes down to everything from preparedness to supporting them in situations like the municipality of Jasper. And that's not possible without the connection and coordination into communities and those relationships, and an opportunity to give a shout out to our host cities that are hosting those reception centers. And so Grand Prairie and Calgary and Edmonton, and just the incredible work done across the board by partnering municipalities, agencies, and all of those that have stepped up, and can't go without saying the municipality of Jasper was tasked with so much, and the work they did to get to this date has just been incredible. And so it's a bittersweet day. We know that. It's great that residents are getting in, but it's also a difficult step and a long journey for recovery. But from a standpoint of continuous improvement, the business that we're in when it comes to emergency management is taking lessons learned from each disaster, each occurrence, and how we can refine and continue to move forward. And we're putting together frameworks of lessons learned as we move forward from last year and to this year to continue to build and refine our model and provide the best support to Albertans.
Thanks, Joe. Carrie, please go ahead. Carrie, you're still on mute.
There we go. Sorry about that. My question is for Minister McIver. Minister, you mentioned 3 types of housing. Can you go a little bit more in depth on that? What those types are, who you're targeting, how that's coming together?
Minister, you're on mute.
That's a great question, but the answer won't be quite as tight as the question was. There's bound to be a different answer for every household. Some households maybe if there's like some temporary camp or some type of or situation for some single people in particular, that they might find that quite acceptable. Families with several kids probably won't. So it's a first thing is to get to know what the actual needs by household is, and then try to match that to resources that are there. The other things that'll make a big difference is whether somebody owned or rented, and how good their insurance coverage is, because in some cases that'll help connect them to benefits for the insurance policies that they have. Other people will perhaps have none of that, and we will look for ways to assist them too, along with our friends at the Red Cross. So your question is amazing. The problem is there's probably a different answer for every household in Jasper.
Oh, so it's not as though the government has options that they're presenting to people. It's more like you plan to reflect the needs as they come up.
Well, I think there is work being done right now to prepare some of the options, and as we hear from people who live in Jasper on what their household's needs are, we will try to match them to what's available. I mean, one of the initial efforts that there is, and again, why we're so keen and keep harping on the survey, is because if as many people who live in Jasper could stay in Jasper in perhaps one of the homes that's in good shape, that has an extra room, a basement, half the house, whatever it happens to be, that's lots of times that will be keep people closer to their life's connections, to their children's schools, to their job, because the recovery of the municipality, it's I don't think it's a straight line. You got to get people in there to have the economy recover, and you can't have the economy recover until the people are there. So that's a chicken and egg thing that we're going to have to go back and forth with enabling people to be in Jasper and enable the jobs to be there for them, and enabling them to be there for the jobs. So it's there's a lot of work, Carrie, and it probably won't be a straight line between now where we get there and where we get to.
Thank you.
All right, that looks like all the questions we have for today. So just a reminder that you'll receive a media situation report after 3:30 p.m. today. And also just to note that there will be no media avails or media situation reports over the weekend unless something significant changes. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.